Good evening and welcome to Frames. I'm Jim Eltoff. Each October, Frames dedicates itself to preparing us for the big movie event of the year in St. Louis. It's the 27th annual Whitaker St. Louis International Film Festival, with over 400 films from 63 countries, from big Hollywood pictures to documentaries and shorts and features and animation. Whatever your taste in movies, you'll find a bunch that you're going to want to see. And here to tell us more, as he is each year at this time, is Chris Clark, the Artistic Director of Cinema St. Louis, the organization that brings us this rodeo. Chris?
Good to be here. Thanks, Jim. Yes.
Lots of big Hollywood names this year, I noticed. People like Julia Roberts, Hugh Jackman, Nicole Kidman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Russell Crowe, big stars.
Yes.
So what does it say about the movies that they're in? Are these big A Hollywood productions?
This year we have an unusually large contingent of end-of-the-year Oscar bait films in the festival. It has long been a dream of mine to have a big filmer event in the large screen of the Tivoli every day of the festival. Well, I got my wish and then some. Yeah. There is one or more large events in the Tivoli Large Theater every day of the film festival.
And we get to see them before anybody else.
Yes.
These are not yet released.
Not yet released.
Soon, but not yet.
Soon, but not yet.
That's terrific. You've also got an amazing array of documentaries this year. We're going to preview some in a minute. Is it more documentaries than usual, or do you have we like it to be 30% documentaries or 40 or whatever, or is it just how it falls?
We have numbers in the various categories we try not to eclipse because there's only so much finite space and time available. But we want to pick what's best, what's relevant, what is from the best filmmakers. Cliff and I, our executive director who does the documentary programming, we agreed to a certain number that we will not eclipse in our numbers of films picked, which we always blast through to some degree, because there's one more film that's so great that we can't not do it, and we always find room.
Good, good. Well, let's take a look at some of these documentaries, beginning with the portrait of an island nation that has its share of problems.
Kiribati is in the center of the world. So it's right there, bang in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So far away, so isolated. We thought it would be immune from the tribulations of this world. The issue of climate change remains the most pressing challenge for us in Kiribati.
Rising sea levels have already taken a village on one of your islands. Do you see the possibility of all the people from Kiribati one day having to leave?
For those of us on the front line, it really does not matter what is agreed to in Paris, because we will continue to go underwater.
If it is a foregone conclusion no matter what happens, what's the point of a deal then?
Well, what's the point? Well, we need to survive. What is going to happen to us is going to be the fate of the rest who will follow.
One of the greatest advertising icons.
It's really about what the work does.
This guy had more impact of the 20th century than anybody else.
Think about the heyday.
There's still moving product off the shelves now.
He had a mantra, which was tell him quick and tell him often.
We get this works, but why does it work?
Why Chicago?
Chicago is the city that America creates when it turns its back on the old world.
Chicago, the most American of American cities.
was just constant incoming of new people.
African Americans in the South saw Chicago as the land of milk and honey.
You could do anything you wanted in Chicago because nobody was here to tell you not to do it.
And it ends up becoming America's wonder city, maybe the world's wonder city.
A city of beauty, strength, and power. Chicago, commercial capital of the nation.
And some of the important movements in advertising really came from Chicago.
The Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly.
A lot of products actually changed how people lived.
Certainly, whenever anybody had a breakthrough, the rest of the industry would shake their heads ruefully and say, I wish I had thought of that. But if you tell the story first, it's your story.
The two great figures in Chicago advertising are Albert Lasker and Leo Burnett. Lord and Thomas, under Lasker, defined the modern ad agency.
Leo believed every one of our clients deserved its own personality.
Nowadays, to sell, we have to build a true emotional connection between our consumers and our clients' brands.
If I'd had this idea myself and wrote it out, it wouldn't have gotten off the ground. What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Hello?
I wanted us to be doing work that people talked about, that people liked seeing, you know, that they told their friends about. Does advertising follow the popular culture, or does it create culture?
They're stepping and doing all this stuff. America hadn't seen anything like that before, but we have.
One of the mantras of the agency starting out was, black people are not dark-skinned white people. What we did is we convinced McDonald's that if we were given the opportunity to do television, it would turn on the white consumer while it was turning on the black consumer. They had never seen themselves projected in media in a positive, realistic way.
It's a great reminder of how the things that we create can have incredible meaning.
There's a difference between creating a buzz and creating a brand. Contact and connection, an algorithm and a human insight. And there's a big difference between big data and a big idea.
There is but one sure way to avoid global war, and that is to win the Cold War.
Throughout the world, there is widespread misunderstanding of the United States. The communists are quick to take advantage of this in the lies they are spreading about us.
One of the police pulled his gun out and pointed it to my forehead and cocked it and said, I'll blow your black brains out.
America claims to preach democracy, but in fact, we have this kind of racial violence going on pretty regularly.
The Soviet international media made sure that audiences around the world knew about this.
In retrospect, it seems obvious that my father would have this idea, but at the time, it was without precedent.
We're going to shift the emphasis to jazz and send these artists over where they can reach the masses of the people of Asian Africa. And one of the people who we're planning to use, my friend Dizzy Gillespie. What do you think about that, Dizzy?
The weapon that we will use is the cool one.
Got off the plane, they had 9 trumpets playing so beautiful. So I pulled mine out and played with them.
5,000 Greeks stage an anti-American riot in Athens.
In Greece, government said, send the Gillespie band. We would like the kamikaze band. Like, send them wherever there's problems, send this band.
Well, I mean, the excitement was, was really mind-boggling.
Никакого шанса, все было отцеплено специальными людьми, агентами полиции или КГБ.
There would be 3 or 4 armed guards making sure that they didn't come over and talk to us.
tell the Russians when they ask you about the Little Rock incident?
It all depends what time they send me over there. I don't think they should send me now unless they straighten that mess down south.
We've been watching previews of some of the documentaries that you'll be able to see at the St. Louis International Film Festival. Chris, that last clip, The Jazz Ambassadors, you've also got a documentary on Blue Note Records.
Yes.
And boy, this is something jazz fans are going to pack the place, whatever the venue's going to be.
Absolutely.
You're going to get them out there for that.
Sure. We always have a lot of musically themed documentaries in the festival because we're a music town.
You have got documentaries on the Old Fiddlers Convention, black male strippers, Father Divine. I love the previews for that. I can't wait to see that. And the HEC documentary on the Muni at 100. Tell us about that. What's that like?
It's a delightful, charming look at a cherished part of the St. Louis arts landscape. I defy anyone who lives in St. Louis, who has ever lived here, to not have some heat and bug-filled memory of the Muni as part of their summer. Everybody goes at some point or another, and
you have to.
What a great legacy.
We moved here about 21 years ago, and the first thing we did that summer, we had some friends who lived here. We got to go to the Muni. What's the Muni? Oh, come on, you've got to see it. It is just such an institution, and Kathy Bratkowski is trying, to tell the story of the 100 years in a documentary.
In a relatively short running length, so that was a big task. It could have been a 10-hour Ken Burns-like miniseries to talk about, all of the details and things. But the fascinating bit about the big tree and its origins and where it came from and where it's gone and where it's going is just great stuff.
You've also got documentaries about some great filmmakers, Bergman and Godard, in particular. A look at what made these guys tick. Strange characters.
And Hal Ashby, too. Let's not forget him.
And Hal Ashby.
One of my
that's
favorites,
right.
Yes.
So you have a number of archival presentations, which is to say old Hollywood movies that you feel have particular value. Shampoo, Pretty Poison, Medium Cool, Once Upon a Time in the West, and a silent film I've never heard of that sounds so interesting, Half-Breed with Douglas Fairbanks.
That is partnered, the first set of films is all part of our golden anniversaries of films from 1968, 50-year anniversary creation. The Half-Breed, which will have a live musical performance by the Rats and People Motion Picture Orchestra, is partnered as a double bill with a documentary about Douglas Fairbanks. Hence our selection of that film, yes.
King of the Swashbucklers.
Yes,
I mean,
of course,
he was a gigantic star. And it's a Western. I didn't know he ever did. I thought it was always swords and, duels and things.
This was a experiment that didn't stick as well as the, pirate-laden things.
Yeah. It sounds like fun. Let's switch gears and take a look at some of the animated films that are included in the festival, starting with one from Iran called The Last Fiction.
شورا از بازگشت جمشید ناامید است. می‌خواهد تا ضحاک بر تخت بماند.
این یعنی پایان حکومت جمشید؟
جمشید را پایانی نیست سرورم. اما آن کس که باید بیش از همه آماده باشد هنوز آماده نیست. در چشمان آفریدون لکه‌ای از غرور و پریشانی می‌بینم. تشنه انتقام خون پدر و مادر است.
بانوی من
Audience is waiting.
We're not ready.
Welcome, everybody. Tonight, we are proud to present 3 plays. Ladies and gentlemen, The Big Bad Fox!
How many more times, really, haven't you got someone else to bother?
I'm sorry, but hungry.
Go back to the woods.
Tried it your way.
Really?
Yeah, just like you do.
Oh, this.
Exactly. Dinner time.
Mummy?
Huh? I'm not a chicken, I'm a fox. You are chicks. I am the big bad fox.
What was that noise?
Mr. Wolf is a little bit angry. He's gonna eat us.
I doubt it. He's fixing himself a snack. Be quiet. I'm trying to save your life here. Oh, well, I tried.
Your chicks tried to bite pupils at school today. They tried to eat my little Michelle. I don't mind.
What if we became responsible adults?
Watch, Daddy. Watch him fly.
This is our self-defense fox extermination club.
Mummy's going to deal with this gentleman.
Is that okay?
Excellent. No one's eating anyone. Right, help me dig. Far enough.
Hello, everybody. Did you like the play?
Michelle. Who is looking after Michelle?
I can take him for you.
No. No. I wouldn't want to bother you at all.
Daddy, I'd like to go to Zombilenium.
Sure. Cross my heart and hope to die. I'd shut down that dreadful park. Hector is sax. I control standards.
Well, that park, there used to be the mine. And one day, boom, my workmate's dead. They're the ones who are now working in the park.
You've seen too much.
Hey, you're new. How did you die anyway?
I'm not dead.
All right, sure.
Welcome to hell.
So, you're selling balloons?
No, I'm walking them. Daddy?
I'm horrible.
You'll get used to it.
Does he get to you with his tiny horns?
Are you jealous?
The future of monsters is romanticism.
What's in it for us, huh?
Zombies, their husbands. They're dragging the park down.
I promised to take my daughter to this park, so believe me, I'll do everything I can to keep it in business. Come on, let's do this!
All monsters belong in this park.
Here's the death, and the surprises it has in store for us.
My daughter needs me, and I'm only realizing it now.
Do you still want to see her? People exist for real?
What an idea!
So, Santa isn't real either?
Ah, he is. He's very real.
Highlights from some of the animated films from the 27th annual Whitaker International St. Louis Film Festival. Boy, that's a mouthful. Chris, you have a film from some of the Muppet people. What's that about? Yamasong, March of the Hollows? Tell us about that.
Yamasong was an animated short that we played a number of years ago. And just like another film we talked about earlier, it then took a couple of years to make itself into a feature. One of the Henson boys, the legacy of Jim Henson, helped create this is a puppet stop motion historical tale of wizards and dragons in warfare with a really great, interesting filmmaker who's had this film, the feature and the short, all over the world, and it has a high-powered voice cast too included in that. Ed Asner, Liam Neeson, Whoopi Goldberg, and a whole bunch of very recognizable voices. So how did this man get all these big famous people into this puppet movie?
The name Henson,
yes,
I think opens doors. That's a magic name.
Yes.
That gets people in the theater. I'll bet that is going to be a packed performance.
I hope so, because it's a charming, wonderful film.
You've also got a lot of international features, and I think we'll take a look at some of the international features you've assembled for us, starting with a French film called The Apparition.
Je voudrais vous révéler un grand secret.
Et je ne sais pas avec qui en parler. Une chose extraordinaire qui m'est arrivée.
Vous étiez déjà venu au Vatican? Non. Il s'agit simplement de faire une enquête de terrain. Une apparition de la Vierge Marie. Vous êtes croyant? Non.
Pourriez-vous nous décrire ce que vous avez ressenti?
C'était une lumière douce. Ensuite, j'ai entendu une voix.
Très, très protégé par le prêtre de la paroisse.
Nous n'avons rien à cacher.
Allô? Anna?
Je sais que vous n'êtes pas comme eux.
Disons que l'Église préférera toujours passer à côté d'un véritable phénomène, plutôt que de valider une imposture.
Je suis pas une menteuse.
Ben, ce serait pour vous poser quelques questions avec Anna.
Avant, elle était en foyer, solitaire.
Et elle a suivi le talus et elle criait très très fort.
Qu'est-ce qui vous a fait peur? Je pense que vous êtes dangereux. Je pense que vous êtes vide. Moi, j'ai besoin de savoir ce qu'on m'a menti ou pas. La vérité est toujours ailleurs.
Il y a trop de colère en vous pour accepter ce que j'ai vu.
Tu veux aller jusqu'où comme ça?
قد ايه عمرك يا زين؟
ما بعرف بدك تسألني.
حضرة الرئيس بما انه زين ما عنده اي وثيقة ولادة ومنه مسجل بالدوائر الرسمية وعلى ما يبدو اهله لزين ما بيعرفوا ابدا تاريخ ميلاده. هيدي تقرير الطبيب الشرعي واللي بيقول انه زين كان تقريبا عمره 12 سنة وقت وقوع الحادثة.
إذا عمره تقريبا 12 سنة.
صحيح.
وين ساكن يا زين؟
سجن رومي للأحداث.
أنت موقوف تاريخ 15 حزيران وعم بتنفذ عقوبة، عارف ليه؟
لأنه طعنت واحد ابن كلب بالسكين.
طعنت واحد بالسكين؟
إيه وابن كلب.
كمان؟ مصر عليها؟ هي بدون ضحك بالقاعة. شو هالقصة؟ شو هالدوشة اللي عملها؟ إعلام وصحافة وبعدت وراهم على السجن. عارف ليش أنت هون؟
إيه نعم.
ليه؟
بدي اشتكي على أهلي.
ليه بدك تشكي على أهلك؟
إنه خلفوني.
Dwa serduszka, 4 oczy. Ojojoj. Co płakały we dnie w nocy. Ojojoj. Czarne oczka, co płaczecie, że się spotkać nie możecie. Że się spotkać nie możecie. Mnie matula zakazała, ojojoj, żebym chłopca nie kochała, ojojoj. A ja chłopca chaps za szyję,
a recoger al aeropuerto. Joan, ella es mi hermana Laura.
Mucho mejor. Nada que ver con el anterior.
Está muy guapa.
¡Paco!
Qué guapa, qué grande.
Tu madre, de Paco. Estuvieron enamorados.
¿En serio?
Paco, ven. Haced algo, por favor.
¿Qué pasa?
Le ha pasado algo anoche.
¿Tú no viste a nadie sospechoso?
Debían de tener a alguien entre los invitados.
Llama a Alejandro y que venga lo antes posible.
Mi hija, déjenme decidir qué hay que hacer. Antonio, vale, ya está, déjame en paz.
No es obra de desconocidos. Tenéis que estar atentos a vuestro entorno.
Si tú estás de acuerdo, hay una manera de ayudarla.
Te estás involucrando demasiado en este asunto.
Oye, ¿tú confías totalmente en tu marido? ¿Qué más le dijiste?
Todo.
Nos lo habíamos jurado.
Están todos metidos.
Y tratar de descubrir quién lo sabe. Ahora todos lo saben.
qalong ho tlile diterene ya ba tsona di tla di rotse makgowa qala ba iphaditsha ba re ke lefatshe la bo bona.
Kutheni usikhathalele kangaka Tawu?
Ka tlameha ho ba le matla Lerato. Lerato. Hantle o kgutletse. A ke re o balehile ha o qeta hore kenya mathateng. Ha o qala wa bua hape hore kenya mathateng hao.
Toropo e lokolohileng. E bodile ke sefolotsana. A se mojondolo bona. Molao o mong fela. Janjanyana.
We've been watching highlights from some of the international features that you can see at the festival. Films from France, Lebanon, Poland, Spain, South Africa. Chris, how do you find these films? The Palestinian territories, India and Chile, I mean, just everywhere. How do you find them?
There's a variety of sources by which we obtain the films. The big splashy Nicole Kidman starring films are from studios, and they use this as marketing for the end of the year. We also work with distributors and sales agents, mostly domestically, but some from other countries, that are things that aren't really out in general release, but they're movers and sellers. And then the biggest area, which is the majority of the festival, is open submissions. This year we had 2,500 films of all shapes and sizes and colors and timbers.
Just over the transom.
So over the transom, with a modest fee attached. So from that, we whittled it down to, out of the 2,500, we ultimately selected, 300 of those films, mostly shorts, to be in the festival.
Yeah. Well, I've always thought that a documentary is a great way to see and understand another culture, even a feature film, but a movie made in Norway by Norwegians is going to tell you a lot more about Norwegian culture than reading a book or following the news or whatever. Somehow movies capture.
And sometimes a person from another country going to another country gets a unique perspective that the natives can't really see, about themselves. So it can work both ways sometimes, sure.
Yeah. We're going to do another set of highlights, but let me just ask you open-ended, what else do we need to know? For instance, where do we get the schedule so we can sit down and plan our lives from November 1st to November 11th?
The schedule is on our website at cinemastlouis.org, the printed schedule. By the time you see this, people out there in TV land, it will be on the streets and in the Riverfront Times.
You buy tickets in advance? You buy tickets online? You do all that stuff?
It's recommended that for many of the shows, if you assume that it might be sold out, it probably might be, especially with films at Plaza Frontenac, which are smaller theaters, and several things have sold out already. You can purchase tickets online. Direct links are on the website, or you may go to the individual box office at the Tivoli or Plaza Frontenac and purchase them.
You have any kind of a pass that you'd sell?
Sure. We have an all-access pass that gets 2 tickets to any film, and then there's 6 passes and 10 passes that'll give you either 6 or 10 tickets.
Let me ask you about one of the big events that you're doing with a local favorite, John Goodman.
Yes.
What's up with that?
We have invited John Goodman to be a part of the film festival annually for at least a dozen or more years, but he's always been very gracious and always responds personally, which is very refreshing. And the only reason has been that he's been too busy. He's been on Broadway, he's been making films, he's been on cable shows. He never had a day off, almost ever. But this, because of his TV schedule, now he's just starting the Connors, starts very soon. TV has more of a truncated filming schedule where they might film like 3 or 4 days and then have a couple days off, or maybe they're done with the whole season, I don't know. But he had a window of time and let us know that he would be available, so we're going to
bringing him out,
have a conversation with his old partner in A Variety of Crimes, John Carney. We'll interview him on stage, and then there'll be a screening of The Big Lebowski, a fan favorite, and 20th anniversary to boot.
One of my favorite movies, period, top 20 list or whatever it is. So he'll be here to talk about his experience in the movies and that movie and TV and whatever else people want to ask him about.
Absolutely.
Boy, that sounds like fun. All right, let's get a preview of 5 more of the more than 400 films at the St. Louis International Film Festival, starting with a political film. Remember Gary Hart, the front runner?
The youngest candidate. Hart spoke at full
campaign trail. The clear front runner. So start with the shoulder in a little. My name's Gary Hart, and I'm running for president.
I want you to think about the opportunity that we have right here, right now. I've never known a guy more talented at untangling politics so that anyone can understand. It is a gift, and he wants to share that. And all anybody wants is for him to take a stupid photo. He will never understand that.
Gary Hart is the man to beat in '88.
If we hold ourselves to those highest standards, then the voters cannot do otherwise.
Senator, I want to ask you some questions about the woman in your townhouse.
Can you tell us how you know her? You can't be serious. No one is staying in my home. There's no need for that.
I am serious, sir.
Oh, Cinnamon, where he gonna run to?
The one thing I asked is that you don't embarrass me.
We can't hide from this. Where gonna run to? The cameras go everywhere. All on that day.
It's up to us to hold these guys accountable.
Just because some other paper used gossip as front page news, I mean, that doesn't mean we have to.
It does. It does now.
He is a man with power, and that takes certain responsibility.
We need to say something.
It's nobody's business. None of it is.
Okay, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about how you get through today.
This campaign is about the future, not rumors, not sleaze, and I care about the sanctity of this process, whether you do or do not.
Go on, Gary. Say it.
There's gonna be a story tomorrow about me.
Dorme no chão, dorme no feno, dorme cavalinho, aproveita que é pequeno.
– 28 semanas, tá tudo em ordem.
Ele é normal?
É.
Dormiu bem?
Eu sou esquisita.
Você anda pela casa de noite. Ana?
Ele tá enorme. Olho grande, boca grande, mão grande. É um menino forte, Ana.
I just wanted to really find out, what are those ribbons for behind them?
These are used to prevent these fruits from flying.
When they fly, they kill people.
That's why they usually fly, to go and kill.
Your Royal Highness, without further ado, allow me to introduce to you our new member of the community. Lelonga wasala kuba endoshi otwala kusangana entambo yobe kuchemuli endoshi umu
Emukwa muri ndoshi
mumupunziso uyu mwache mumusambirishe ifye mwikala pamonge endoshi n'obuteko
ndia jina yake ni Shula.
Ile pili bula chishula ukushulika.
Bananibera ndrama zanga zamani nali kufuna kukwatira bakazi.
Yamukani ma suspect nonso wayibile pale baba.
Mimi fara challenge.
Wena ndo tukala bomba nomba. Wonsai kaloshikandi.
Wamfa ko fimu aba ichebale yangalo kwichongo kuli aba icho.
Ine nalinga iwelo nalimwachi. Fyose fe balenje nalechita. Nayo ngabanga ine. Pendo kanchira nokunchira.
Wenda shiwandira bakuruba ndi wapusha bakuruba ndi boys. Fulani ngana kuishira mukati mulemo nate. Ngana kuishira mukati ngana kugenda.
Camille, sono 3 anni che non stiamo più insieme e io sono fidanzato. Sono gay.
Magari è temporaneo, voglio dire, succede a tutti, è un periodo,
Per Antonio e Paolo.
In Italia? Così finalmente conosco mamma e papà.
I miei.
È arrivato il momento della verità.
Eccomi!
Paolo?
Paolo.
Benedetta, piacere.
E lui è Donato, il nuovo inquilino di Berlino.
Sei incastrato.
No, ma non si preoccupi, accade.
Donato la vopa.
Ci siamo conosciuti facendo un musical.
Hai fatto il musical?
Perché non le piace il...
No. È la versione gay del teatro.
Ora
Poi scusa, mi avevi detto che tu lo sapevano che...
serviranno amici fidati.
Abbiamo un sacco di cose in comune. Facciamo un figlio.
Una famiglia dalle idee aperte.
Il mondo va verso l'integrazione, tutto il mondo.
E tanto coraggio.
Noi ci vogliamo bene e abbiamo deciso di sposarci.
Bella, è uno scherzo.
Se non hai deciso di celebrare tu il loro matrimonio, te ne puoi anche andare da questa casa.
Non eri tu che dicevi che questo è un paese che accoglie tutte le persone?
Intendevo, insomma, turisti, profughi.
Lascia le chiavi di casa.
Mia madre non ci verrà mai a questo matrimonio.
Siete tutti invitati
Lo faccio io. Che cosa? La mamma di Paolo.
al matrimonio dell'anno.
Ragazzi, sarà un tripudio.
Ma a volte le cose impossibili diventano possibili.
Puoi baciare lo sposo.
Tanto, sono tutti quanti bravi a fare gay a Berlino.
You have no idea, do you? Or did you choose not to know? Your husband stole $2 million from me. This is about my life. This is about my life. And because it's about my life, it now becomes about yours.
Something happened tonight, something bad. Mr. Mulligan, your family's been involved in Harry's life for many years. I need help.
I don't see what I can do.
Our husbands aren't coming back. We're on our own. My husband left me the plans for his next job. All I need is a crew to pull it off.
Why should we trust you anyway?
Because I'm the only one standing between you and a bullet in your head.
It's what I've learned from men like your late husband and my father is that you reap what you sow.
Let's hope so. This is for guns.
Guns? From where?
Figure it out.
If this whole thing goes wrong, I want my kids to know that I didn't just sit there and take it. I did something.
Now, the best thing we have going for us is being who we are.
Why?
Because no one thinks we have the balls to pull this off.
Our final set of highlights from the St. Louis International Film Festival in its 27th year, running from November 1st through the 11th. Chris, it just looks like a bang-up event, as it always is. It seems bigger and better every year. Maybe that's just my perspective, but it's always...
It is. This is the biggest monster we've ever had to wrestle to the ground, and we're working hard and huffing and puffing to get to the finish line, and we're almost there.
Well, congratulations on getting all this together
Thank you
and
very
bringing
much.
this to the moviegoers.
It's a
in St.
delight.
Louis.
It's a great job.
Thank you for watching. I'm Jim Eltoff. I'll see you next time on HEC TV.